Matheus Cunha, Manchester United's first big signing of the summer, looks an even more done deal after reports coming out over the last 24 hours. He was playing for Wolves last night, starred in that game, unlucky in that game as well. He is going to be a Red. I'm going to give you all the details on that story this Saturday morning, the 3rd of May. Match weekend, everybody. Brentford tomorrow. Who will be playing in that game tomorrow? Plenty of young academy players looking to make their mark for Manchester United's first team. Another young academy player, young academy player, starring again last night for Manchester United's under-18s at the age of 14. You know who I'm talking about. Details on that as well. Harry Maguire wants a new contract at Manchester United. Get into the live chat and tell me this morning, would you give Harry Maguire any more in terms of contract or offers on top of that 1-year extension going into next season that he's already got on the table for Manchester United? At his age, he may be playing well, but is it time we cut off these players that have done enough and just need to be let go? Is this a problem United have had in the past? I want that question answering as well. Update from Fabrizio Romano as well regarding Antony and that situation with Real Betis. And more news on Ryan Cherki as well. All jam-packed into this morning's show. Let's get right on with everything, everybody. If you're catching up later on, maybe you're having a lazy Saturday, just staying in bed for a bit longer, all of your news and updates will be at the top end of this show as well. Make sure that you do get your comments in below when the video has finished its live as well. And we're going to start with the Matheus Cunha situation and where we're up to with this right now. As we've known throughout the week, talks have been ongoing. Several sources, creditable sources, have already said that Matheus Cunha has actually already given the verbal go-ahead to Manchester United. He wants United. He only wants Manchester United. We're not bothered about European football. Where are we at right now with this deal? Well, it's come out from Rudy Galletti has come out and said that Manchester United, an agreement is in principle with Matheus Cunha on a contract structure through to 2030. So signing a 5-year deal. Minor details remain on the contract. Agreement on personal terms is now very, very close. It is pretty much set in stone and done. Talks between Manchester United and Matheus Cunha's entourage have progressed in their last meetings. That's come from Rudy Galletti as well, sports journalist, as we all know, who's done quite a bit on Manchester United recently, especially over the summer. Well, Ineos have been in situ at Manchester United anyway, but the Matheus Cunha situation, and everybody is reporting through this right now. He works for Sky Sports as well, Rudy Galletti. He works for quite a few different people, but to be honest, I think it was just a race to see who could come out with the most up-to-date news first regarding Matheus Cunha. And I think we've known all week that big talks have been going on in terms of the actual structure of his contract, making sure that everything is in place. So when we get players coming into Manchester United like Matheus Cunha, and we're all scratching our heads, he's ready to sign this deal. And by the way, it is 4 weeks today when the transfer window opens. So all of these talks right now, and everyone talking about this getting a little bit ahead of itself, it's not. It's less than a month away before the window opens officially, and United are just positioning themselves ready to go. It's great that we're not just talking about Cunha and the football is taking over right now, and good to enjoy football while all of this has been going on behind the scenes, but proper big football clubs have stuff like this happening all of the time. Pre-contract negotiations, deals already lined up, everything in place, ready to go, bang, as soon as the window opens. Now, Matheus Cunha and his contract, in terms of coming to Manchester United, not worried about European football, happy to negotiate this deal right now. We know he's a fan and he loves United, he loves Ruben. He's been taken aback by the project and his role that he's going to play in this project in taking United back. Blah, de blah, we've said all of that. Well, this is where the contract actually comes in, and this is where, yes, he loves Manchester United. Yes, he wants to come and play for his boyhood supported club that he's watched throughout his life, as he says. This is where Jorge Mendes steps in. This is where him and the connection with Wolves and everything goes down, because Cunha's not just going to come into Manchester United blind. The contract and why it's taken so long is because there needs to be get-outs for Matheus Cunha. Obviously, he loves United and United will be big again one day. It may still not be while Matheus Cunha is at Manchester United. And he needs protection from that. So The contract and what's being negotiated will be clauses, will be sell-ons, will be release clauses, things like this if it doesn't go right for Manchester United. Now, United, obviously, if we get Champions League, will find it easier to negotiate deals and contracts for players coming into the football club. But in situations like this, yes, like we've said, it's great that there's a player that wants to come to Manchester United, but don't kid yourself that he isn't going to protect himself either, because United have been a sham over the last 10 years when it comes to contracts, situations with players' careers dying off at Manchester United, players leaving and doing well elsewhere. It's just been a complete circus, and agents know about this. Agents know that with Ineos in situ, they're not going to get the big bumper pay packet deals that used to be there before. So Jorge Mendes coming in and negotiating with Manchester United, Murto and Arnold, for instance, he'd have been rubbing his hands together saying, we are taking them to the cleaners here. What relationship he has got with Manchester United goes out of the window when it comes to his clients. All he cares about is his pocket and his client's pocket, and what together they will get out of this deal. So they protect themselves. Their assets is the player, and they don't care about Manchester United. The difference now is he knows what he's up against, and in the summer we've seen a difference. Jorge Mendes was contacted by Ineos, as we know, last summer, to negotiate several deals for Manchester United, get into contacts and know and feed into his notebook, his scrapbook of players that could possibly be an option for Manchester United, laying it all out for them. Remember that story when we were talking about it last summer? Now, obviously, he knows what you're up against. So, contract situations with Manchester United now are completely different to what there was. So, within them contracts, he's still going to have to protect his clients somehow. Obviously, for instance, you've got the likes of Antony right now, who is earning an absolute fortune while not doing much. Marcus Rashford's agent's taking Manchester United to the cleaners completely with his contract. Obviously, you're looking at the Christian Eriksen situation, Jadon Sancho, Mason Mount, all of these players that I think the agents feel completely comfortable with them being at Manchester United. Why? Because they're protected. They've got absolute fortunes in the bank. Now, every other football club you look at as a United fan from the outside going in, it's like, how is their wage structure this? How has Liverpool got about 3 or 4 of their top stars all earning less than just one of Manchester United's overpriced, overpaid players who's doing nothing for us? Well, that's because they have a football structure, directors of football, their technical directors, everything that United have got now in place. And this is why probably I think United are negotiating this deal earlier, because they want to get things ready to go. They cannot allow this to drag out, because contracts will take longer for Manchester United to finalise. The bonus that we've had is that there's probably 5 or 6 deals that United have already negotiating that we don't know about, are ready to go as soon as Manchester United know exactly what competitions and money they've got, competitions they're playing in next season, and money they have got to spend going into this transfer window. They're already negotiating them. Beforehand, this wasn't happening. And I can tell you for nothing, it wasn't happening. I've been there on pre-season tours. I've been there, Murto took away about 7 or 8 journalists within a press box into a different room to have a discussion with them as a bit of an update on things that were going on. I managed to speak to a couple of them journalists when they came out, and it was just like general sort of plans as to what they were thinking and what's going on. There was nothing ready. There was nothing set up. There was nothing concrete in terms of negotiations or possibilities going into the transfer window at all. And that's coming from the journalists who follow United week in, week out, who we know. That is what United used to be. That is no longer there. Cunha's deal will be finalised, will be done. That's the report that is coming out. The minor details that we're talking about, like what Rudy Galletti is talking about this morning, are them tiny little things like what happens if things go wrong. Cunha's not going to be on absolutely mega money like you would make your Mason Mounts, Antony's and Casemiro's are going to get when they come into the football club. Yeah, he'll be on decent money. He will be, but it will be structured and it will be incentivised as well. And all of this is what's going on right now with this. We know that the structure for the deal isn't going to be a problem for Manchester United with Wolves. It's already been quite clear when David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano have opened up and spoken about the situation with Manchester United approaching Wolves, instalments, all in place, all ready to go. And again, we're just watching games like the Wolves game at Old Trafford last week with Cunha in the team, the runs that he can make, the control he's got on the ball, the performance last night, a lot of people have highlighted it against Manchester City. And a player like this, he's ours. And now we've actually got something in place management-wise that can actually handle a deal like this and give the fan base confidence that we can actually get a deal like this done. So that is Matheus Cunha and where we're at with that and everything that's going on with that deal. Let's get into the comment section and see what you're all saying, how confident you are about Matheus Cunha and this actually happening right now. Did you watch the game last night? Are you excited for this happening? Manchester United doing well in the Europa League, possibly being in the Champions League and having a player like Matheus Cunha on their books. It does give you that confidence, doesn't it, going into the new season? And I think that this is now... I don't want to jinx it. I feel like this is the first real summer for Manchester United. I think this is where you get everything all prepared going into a proper transfer window. This is basically Manchester United's first transfer window, levelling up with every other football club in the Premier League because everyone is ready to go. And we know it. The data analysis and everything else and recruitment teams that are in place at every other club, apart from Manchester United in previous years, are ready to go. And United are now part of that. And you can see now the power of Manchester United, the name, the history, everything that is United. And you add all of the modern day technical stuff to our management team, and we're ready to go in a transfer window. We can be dangerous. And this is what I think we're going to see this summer. Deals that we didn't think were going to happen, I think will happen. Cunha is number one. Let's get some comments in on this one. Will we still go for Edison if we get Cunha now? Yep. Edison, I do believe from what Romano has said though, could be Champions League related. It really could. In terms of how much money we've got, competitions we're actually in. I think Edison is a financial one, which the Champions League will help fund. Not so much being in the Champions League, and that's what he wants to play in. As in, like Cunha and Gyökeres's situation, they want to play European football. I think Manchester United's setup with Edison is purely down to the financial side and what gains we get if we're in the Champions League. That, I think, is where we're at with that from what Romano said anyway. Al says, Maguire has 1 year left. We need to plan for his replacement, not giving him a new extension. That news is coming up as well. We're going to be talking about Maguire and this so-called contract in a moment. I'm going to get a few more thoughts on Ruben Amorim and his hunt for Cunha and going forward as well. Talk about what you expect from Ruben Amorim next season if he gets these types of players in. Where do you think United should be finishing? And we're talking about all of these targets right now. I love how Ineos are backing Amorim. It's vital for the club to have one vision from management on the field. 100% agree with that one. It has to be one look and one pathway. Everyone singing off the same hymn sheet. That's what I think we have got right now. And I think the communication from Ruben Amorim to the media in press conferences and interviews has been very clear. It's like he's been talking through Ineos and this new management team. And I think this is what we've got to look forward to now. One vision. And not, I want him. Oh, he doesn't like him. Yeah, but he's worked with him before. Should we just get him? And it looks like we know what we're doing and we can actually say that we have done our job. That's what it was with United before. And you could see that from the outside quite clearly. It was scattergun. It was useless. There was no planning behind anything that we did. We could tell that in the first summer with Erik ten Hag, when we chased Frankie de Jong and then ended up just buying Casemiro. Thankfully, we did, in a way, because I think Casemiro, as we've said before, and I'm not just saying this now because of what he's done over the last couple of months for United, but he really has had an impact at Manchester United, Casemiro. Rawls with a super chat says, so nice to see the club being organised and having a player like Cunha sorted before the window even opens. Now they can focus on the additions and subtractions. Well put. Great super chat there from Roz. Absolutely bang on the money, I think, there, mate. Right, let's get on to the other news and let's get through. Keep your comments coming in on Cunha, but I want to move on to Harry Maguire right now because this is going to divide a lot of opinion. Now, I've said that Harry Maguire wants a new deal at Manchester United. This news came out last night from the Telegraph. And I don't know if some are concerned with it. Sam Wallace of the Telegraph, well-known journalist, has reported that Harry Maguire wants a new contract and would ideally like to finish his career at Old Trafford. We're talking the Johnny Evans type scenario here. Now, here's one for you. Harry Maguire has triggered his 1 year, or the club have triggered Harry Maguire's 1 year extension on his original deal. So, in at Manchester United, had a 5-year deal with a 6th year added on. We're now moving into that 6th year added on for Harry Maguire next season. So 6 years at Manchester United, 190 grand a week wages. It's not moved, it's not budged once in that whole time. You could argue at that point that Manchester United really have got value for money. You can argue the price tag all along, but if you've bought a player and he's seen out a 6-year contract, featured as many times as Harry has, impacted as many times as Harry has for Manchester United, United on the books will look at Harry Maguire as a good purchase and worth the money because he's lasted the length of his contract. And that's how they look at it, worth every single penny. And now we're in a situation where, let's be honest, we're not going to get too much money for Harry Maguire. So the decision I think now is, right, after next season, do we do a... or can we develop a contract structure that works for someone of Harry's age, like we have with Johnny Evans? He's going to have to take a massive pay cut to stay at Manchester United, is what I say. Would you take Harry Maguire on half the wages that he's on right now? He's going to have to accept that his age and where he is, and him not being first choice at Manchester United, which he won't, because when Leacher comes back, Yorrell's getting more established. De Ligt, I think he's more of a first choice than Harry Maguire as well under Ruben Amorim. Obviously, you've got Leacher coming back, Mazraoui there as well. All younger players that are going to be built to adapt to a system where Harry's coming to the twilight of his career. I think, again, Harry moves into the Casemiro territory of maybe just seeing out another contract. But I'm going to be completely honest now, as much as I've loved Harry Maguire from last season, this season, what he's doing, the memes, the jokes, the Harry Yamal, and Harry Ronaldo, I think, was one the other day. Harry Oldinho, I think, was another one. I love it. It's great. It's banter. It's what we want to be and where we want to be as Man United fans. Celebrating moments with certain players. He's a bit of a cult hero at the moment, isn't he, Harry Maguire? He really is. He's loved by all of the players. Everybody likes him at the football club. He's a big Manchester United fan. His family's there at every single game. I used to sit in front of the box where Harry Maguire's family sat when he first started at Manchester United in my old seat at Old Trafford. They love the club. The club love him. They're there all of the time. They're massive, massive Manchester United fans. He is a model pro, an absolute model pro, Harry Maguire. But I have to keep to my brutal and ruthless streak of doing what's necessary for the future. And Harry Maguire, for me, thank you, Harry. 6 years, ups, downs, in the end, finishing on a high, hopefully next season in the Champions League, mate. On your way. You know what? Like, there's a bit of me that feels that little bit of pain, but that's the bit that I'm just swiping off and knowing that this Harry Maguire last-minute winner, Harry Maguire on the wing, Harry Yamal on the wing scoring or setting up a goal, and all of this, it doesn't cover up one of our worst ever Premier League seasons. And this is what the fans, and this is what the club in particular, should always be looking at. Your bread and butter cannot be forgotten about because you have just covered it up with a Europa League appearance, Europa League win, or a campaign in the Europa League which has galvanised the fan base. Don't get carried away with a cup run, is what I'm saying. And Harry's done all right in the league. He's impacted. And look, if Harry Maguire wants to stay at Manchester United for minimal wages, if we haven't got a suitor for him and we can't make any money off him, fair enough, do your Johnny Evans bits. But he isn't part of Manchester United's future. And that's how we have to be. We have to be ruthless. Last season, everyone got carried away. I'm stood outside Wembley. I'm interviewing people on Wembley Way. And everyone's like, yes, this is it. You know what? We've got to keep Ten Hag now. That's it. You can see it. He can do things. You can see what he got out of this team today. And everybody forgot about the effort that the team, the club, had to go through just to get these players to actually put on one performance. Because let's be honest, the cup run wasn't great. We were crap in nearly every other game. We scraped past Wigan. What was it? Was it Fleetwood? Was it Fleetwood? Who did we play? I can't even remember who it was. We played in the fourth round, sorry. But someone like that anyway. We had them. And then what was it? Poor performance again at home against somebody else. We scraped past Nottingham Forest. We scraped past Coventry. And everyone got carried away because we won the FA Cup and he's won another trophy because we managed to turn up for one game and beat Manchester City while all of the cameras and lights were on us. It's a very similar situation to what's going on right now. We cannot forget. And Ruben's in this category as well. And Ruben knows he's not getting carried away. He's not coming out and saying that titles, I've won this title, I've won that title. Look at this. Look how many trophies we've won. We've won trophies. The Europa League is not going to salvage Manchester United's season. Those are the words coming out of our coach's mouth. He knows where he stands, and the club need to act on this. They cannot get blown away by some Europa League performance and forget everything that's happened in the Premier League. Nearly every single player in this squad has contributed to United's worst season ever. There are some that are worse than others, some that are at a certain stage of their career than others that we can look at and say it's not the future. Harry falls into that category. I'm sorry, it sounds bad, it sounds horrible in the midst of all the jubilation and positivity around Manchester United right now. We still have to be a football club and we have to act according. Harry Maguire, you could argue if he deserves it or not, but that decision should be completely taken out of his hands and there should be nobody talking about it. It's thank you, Harry. You've got one more year. You've had 6 years at Manchester United. You've lived the dream. You've picked up trophies. You've won a few. And you've had some seriously good moments for Manchester United. But we need to move forward. There's a younger generation of defender coming through already at the club, and we will add to the centre-back area next season as well. The only thing that's in his favour at the moment, really, is the fact that Lindelof and Evans are both leaving this summer. Otherwise, I'm looking at this and I'm saying he might not have even got that 1-year triggered extension from the football club. I think United would have probably been looking at him if he was playing the way he was and maybe making money on him. But the situation is, 2 are leaving and we're saving a fortune on wages there. I don't think we're going to sign Harry Maguire up to a new contract, not unless he's on substantially less than what he's on right now. That's my opinion on Maguire. Let's get into some comments on this one as well, everybody. Get your comments in. Harry Maguire, does he deserve a contract extension on what he's got right now? Harry Houdini, Harry Yamal on the wing, Harry Aldinho, whatever you want to call him. Is he worth another contract? That's the story coming from the Telegraph. Sam Wallace is saying that Maguire wants to finish his career at Manchester United. How much? Let's just have a quick nosy at Harry. Well, the comments are coming in there. Let's have a quick nosy at Harry Maguire's actual setup right now at Manchester United. So his contract ends at the end of next season after that 1-year triggered extension. At the end of that, so Harry is 33 in March. So he's 33 this season. By the end of... So he's 33 this coming season, obviously. So do you extend the contract to a 33-year-old centre-back at Manchester United? I mean, he's done his time at United. He really has. When you look at all of the stats and you look at what Harry Maguire has accomplished at Manchester United, he has been a mainstay. He has got... let's just have a quick look at his stats right now. For Manchester United, 240 appearances for the football club. By the end of next season, Harry Maguire could be close to 300 career appearances for Manchester United. Thank you. It's done. Time is there. He's only featured in 23 Premier League games this season. He's only started 17 Premier League games this season. Do you want to be giving a new contract to Harry Maguire? And he's thinking he's going to be on similar money, I'm telling you right now, and his agent will try the same thing. Do you think that a 33-year-old who would turn 34 that season is signing the contract, which is the 26-27 season, do you think someone who's only appeared 17 times, 17 starts this season, is worth a new deal? You're obviously looking past him already, aren't you? That's what you're doing. You're looking past him because of them games. I think it's there for everyone to see. Well done, Harry. Thank you. Time to move on. That's how I see it anyway. Good servant and time. Let's get into the comments. I believe it when I see it because all of this has been said and done before. I think that was on the Matheus Cunha. By the way, keep your Cunha comments coming in as well, everybody. I'd extend Maguire's contract, but I'd reduce his weekly wage. We can always sell him next summer. I don't know about that one. Harry Maldini says, I don't know who that is. Someone's changed the name. It's one of the mods. It might be Stu. I'm not sure about that. Harry has had a resurgence and maybe a rolling contract. See, everyone's turned all of a sudden. Everyone's been taken aback by the resurgence. Like, we talked about this with Casemiro, but we know that Casemiro will leave next season definitely anyway. He's up. His time is up at United. It should be the same for Harry Maguire. It should be the same. These players that we've all been moaning about. And there'll be a moment and there'll be a time next season when things are not going well. Harry Maguire will still be in the side and everyone will be saying it's time to let him go. I can guarantee it right now. But I think Manchester United under Ruben Amorim, it's a bit different in that he won't play as much next season. He'll be used as a bit part player. And then that's when the structure kicks in and when Ineos come out and say, should a player that's on nearly 200 grand a week be on the bench being used as a bit part player? And is he going to be, under Ruben Amorim, used even more if we give him another contract? Well, no, he's not. Because it's quite clear right now that Harry Maguire, with only 17 starts this season in the Premier League, isn't a mainstay in Ruben Amorim's thoughts. He uses him, and he's there to be used. And he's already said that we need to look after him in terms of his minutes. You don't give a player like that a new contract unless it's, like I said, it's been completely slashed. And he's already... What am I talking here? For me to accept Harry Maguire getting a rolling contract, I think he's worth 75, 80 grand a week wages on a rolling contract. And I think that's what Manchester United should do with players of that age. If they are still worth something to the club and they can get something out of that player and can actually, that player can actually do something good for Manchester United, as in be a role model for younger players coming through, then fair enough. Rolling contracts, 80 grand a week, cut it in half. If you want to stay at United, you have to fall under these. That's it. So yes, if he's still fit and playing well, come this time next year, we will see. But we need his replacement bought in over the next few windows. I already feel like there's a replacement in for Harry. I think we're going for one more centre back possibly next summer. I think that's where Manchester United will be heading. A few Brazilian teams want Harry Dino next season. I would give him a contract as backup, but with reduced wage. I think most people are saying the same thing here, actually. All on reduced wages, happy to see Harry Maguire sign a new deal. Rolling contracts. He needs the Johnny Evans contract is what he needs. Something where he signs every single year. And if he's happy with that, then I don't think Manchester United fans are going to have an issue with it. But he cannot be given say for instance, a 2 or 3 year deal on a set wage again. I just don't think that's the right way that Manchester United should be going. And I don't think the structure would actually go down that road anyway. Keeping Maguire is a big no from me. We need to create space for younger players. We have to stop holding on to players. Remember, we have to compete with Liverpool and Arsenal. I get that. I totally get that. That is definitely something that I feel is sensible, and I think United will be looking at as well. Looking to move on to the next bit of news as well. Let's keep you up to date with everything. Keep the comments coming in on Cunha and Maguire. That topic is running through the live chat right now, and obviously when the video's finished, drop your comments in there as well, everybody. Manchester United are leading the race to sign Leon midfielder Ryan Cherki this summer. This coming out of Gimme Sport and the Court Offside as well. Now, we heard in the week, we did a video on Cherki in the week with round about 15 clubs minimum after his services. The difference is with Manchester United, having seen him play up close, the United staff were very, very impressed, including Ruben Amorim. Now, with Matheus Cunha being so close, this deal and this story I can understand, and then I'm like, no, I don't. Who drops out? That's the question. You bring Cunha in and you bring Cherki in. You've got serious players there then that are going to be left out. My biggest fear is that we think of not bringing in a number 9 and we could expect the likes of Cherki, who's played as a 9, Cunha, who's played as a 9, to play as a sort of false 9 type of player. I still want a number 9. I don't want to be messing around with this hybrid type of player up front. I really don't like it. I'd rather have players playing in a certain position that belong in that position and are masters of that. I don't like Jack. I've always said it. I'd rather have a master of one trade than a jack of all. I just want someone who I know, when the team is announced, I know where he's going to play. I hate versatile players. Don't get me wrong, they are needed in football clubs. I get them. I've seen them. I've watched Sir Alex Ferguson use players like this for years, and it works to a certain degree. But you cannot base your transfer windows and main spend on versatile players because he can do a couple of roles. Now, I get it. Ruben wants that in certain players, but not the strikers. The strikers is the one area you don't mess around with. And Cherki coming in for me would definitely spell the end of Garnacho. Because let's not forget, if you're bringing in Cunha, which looks like a done deal, like we said, Cherki comes in as well. And it's a deal that United should be looking at because it's the right package, the right age, and the right quality of player. He would improve Manchester United, no end. But then you've got Cherki and Cunha, completely different 10 setup. You've got Ahmad and Bruno to try and squeeze in as well. And you still need a striker. Garnacho doesn't stand a chance. You've got Mason Mount, you've got Joshua Zirkzee, you've got Ahmad, you've got Bruno, you've got Garnacho on top of Cherki and Cunha. That is a little top heavy for me and is a bit concerning. Now, I know Ruben's willing to adapt his system and change his formation up a little bit, but you're struggling there with a lot of players to try and get them in when really we possibly right now need to buy a 10, then a 9, and then an 8. Rather than going 10-10. I know the 10s are the ones that are available and cheap, and sometimes that can determine what happens in a transfer window, as in Cherki's an easy transfer, Ederson isn't. I get all of that, and sometimes you're pushed into that, but that is a trap that United have fallen down before, and we've bought more players for a certain area of our team than we really need. I like Cherki. I would love him at the football club, but I would sort of enter in the air of cautiousness with that one because, and I'm not saying this against the player, I'm just saying it because of the circumstances and situation more than anything else. Like, we are already stacked in that area, whether you rate that player or not. Like, Ahmad will come back and play. Bruno will play in that 10, especially if we buy an 8, which we are told is going to happen this summer as well. So, for instance, if Ederson comes in and Bruno is pushed back into the 10, you can never have too many, but surely you cannot buy Cherki if we go out and buy an 8 and Bruno is then going to be your normal 10 player alongside Ahmad or Buddy Cunha. Because Cunha's going to start playing games. And this is why I had that thought of hopefully they're not thinking hybrid 9 mil here for these players and we don't go out and buy a number 9. Like, that will be in the thinking, I'm sure. And I it's just a personal thing for me. I don't like it. I don't. I said it before a minute ago. I just like the master of one trade, not jack of all. I want the player in the middle that I know when the team sheet's announced, I know that I'm going to have my 3 centre-backs. I don't even have to look at the team lineup on a piece of paper in terms of the team on a pitch and where they're playing. I just need to see the names that are playing in that game, and I know exactly where every single player is going to play. We just don't get that at United over the last few years. Where's Bruno going to play this week? Where's Mainu going to play? Is Ahmad going to be at right wing back or at 10? I know that Ahmad can play at right wing back, and I've made a big case for him before there. I know I have. I'm not going to go back on that. But I just think that decisions will be made this summer, in the case of like Ahmad, that he is committed to playing at right wing back. And Ruben will make a call on that. Because if he brings in a 10, then there's not much room for the other players that he wants to play in there. And Zirkzee is not a number 9. Ruben's already said that. Don't forget, I'm saying, that's all. Don't forget about the players we desperately need, which are the 9 and the 8. That's what we're looking at right now. And I think that Manchester United, under Ruben Amorim, know this. And where we would like to bring in Cherki, Cunha has always been top dog. And I think that's what Manchester United need to do. They need to be 100% on their targets and go all in on them targets. And don't start changing it because players become available. But United are leading the race for Ryan Cherki. That news, again, is doing the rounds. And you will see it up on social media today at some point as well, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm not convinced. I'm going to get into the chat now as well. Glenn with a super chat says, let's wait till December to make the decision that regarding Harry Maguire. See where he's at. If he's playing games and he's doing well, then maybe a rolling contract fits with Harry Maguire. Keep them comments coming in on that as well. Antony says, if we're after more 10s, I wonder if Garnacho is going. What about Mount? We have Zirkzee, Ahmad, Bruno and others. I think I just said that as well, Antony. You're right. Some of the comments I've seen this morning: oh my God, sell Bruno? ? Would probably be getting relegated without him. Cherki isn't all that, and don't buy him because we have Ahmad. This is what I mean. Like, people actually look at what Manchester United can move on, and they don't appreciate what they've already got, I don't think. And Bruno is in that category. It's like, we need Bruno Fernandes to be that man that these new players look up to when they come in. He needs to be the role model that these players look to and go, that's the standard, that's the level. We cannot just sell him and expect people to be another Bruno. Bruno needs to be there over the next couple of years probably for Man United, and then he's going to be moved on. And you know it. It's like his contract will run out. And you know what? He will be the De Bruyne of Manchester United. Like, playing at a certain age. But if you've got De Bruyne in that side at Manchester City, you take him out. Even when he turns like where Bruno is now. Bruno's 30. De Bruyne is 35 going on 36 right now. The last 3 years, you couldn't have taken Kevin De Bruyne out of Manchester City's team. He was a pivotal part of it. And Ruben knows his fitness levels. His injury record is exemplary. He can still go on for another 4 years, Bruno Fernandes. And I would not be surprised if Bruno is still here in 4 years. We do need to find his replacement, and I've said this all along. Ryan Cherki is not a Bruno replacement. Neither is Matheus Cunha. Maybe they will be still around when Bruno leaves, but I reckon there's a chance that Bruno Fernandes is still here. Some fans won't like that, and some fans will come back and say, well, you've just been talking about Harry Maguire and a decision being made on some of the older players being moved on. I'm sorry. Bruno's 30. Harry Maguire is 33 in March. That's the difference. And Bruno Fernandes is playing every single game and putting up numbers every single week. And without him, like the comment just said, we would be in the relegation zone. So Bruno Fernandes, I reckon, could still be at Manchester United in 4 years' time. And Cunha and Cherki, if they came in, for instance, would be playing in and around Bruno Fernandes. I think everybody just needs to take that reality on and accept it. And I think you'll find it a lot easier because Bruno's going nowhere. I don't think anybody is looking at Bruno Fernandes right now and thinking that they can replace him and his numbers in Man United's side. No one at United anyway. So I just don't see it. Let's get some more comments on this. I may have upset a few people with that one there, but let's see. I wasn't that impressed with Cherki. I think we've got youngsters that could do just as good a job. I disagree with that. I think Cherki was really good, and you don't get the numbers that he's got by just bringing an academy player through, mate. It's going to take time, and at the price that Cherki is, I think he's a player that United should be looking at. I really do. He's just another overhyped player that United have stupidly gone after in the past. Again, completely disagree. You cannot ignore the numbers. I think Cherki would fit into a Ruben side. Bruno can't be that level. He's nothing special. I don't get it. This live in with Bruno, loving with Bruno, I think I was supposed to say. Bruno is the best penalty taker in the Premier League. Apart from that, we need to move forward. Gehan, I think you're going to get smashed with comments on that one, mate. That is nowhere near the mark, buddy. I understand you don't like him, but everything that you just said there is completely wrong, mate. I'm sorry. I have to disagree with that. Let's just see. What's we got here? Cherki has 19 assists this season. The man is super talented. And he's got, I think, over a dozen goals as well. So, yeah, his numbers are up there. It definitely is a playoff that United need to be keeping an eye on. He's got that X factor. Any team should constantly be looking for replacements for all the players for the hit a point of stagnation. Before they hit a point of stagnation. Look, Cunha, players like this, Ahmad, they're going to replace Bruno in time, but not yet. That's the point we're making. Bruno isn't a Harry Maguire situation. In 3 years, maybe we were looking at the same situation with Bruno when his contract ends and we're saying the same thing, but not now. He's 30 and at the peak of his powers. You don't sell players like that unless somebody comes in with a bid over 70 million plus for Bruno Fernandes. You don't even consider it. But even if someone came in with 70 million, I think United would look at it and go, right, who can we get in that's going to give us Bruno Fernandes numbers for that money right now? You're not going to get Florian Wirtz from Leverkusen. That story that came out the other day was complete and utter bull. Yeah, well, not bull, but in terms of reality stakes, yes, bull. United should be looking at Wirtz. That's the type of player we want. But if you sell Bruno Fernandes for 70 million, you're still going to need to find another 40 million to try and buy Wirtz. He's just not on Manchester United's radar. Look, if United get Champions League football, I've said it all along, there is a chance that we can actually start looking at some even bigger caliber players. But this structure are not just going to go in and start spending fortunes because we're in the Champions League. They're still going to stick to their plan. They're still going to stick to what Manchester United have been planning all along. Let's just see. Manchester United sources have been struck by how leaner Casemiro is this season. People in Madrid said he used to be the club's Valbidas gym at 8 a.m. and then often has gym sessions before and after training at Carrington. Casemiro is looking ripped at the moment. Amram has been impressed with how Casemiro has worked to meet his demands to regain his place in the team. He noticed that he never complained during those winter weeks warming the bench. Staff at Carrington regard Casemiro as one of the most respectful players they have encountered, and that he is stringent in protecting the club's image. Strident, sorry. I'm just reading through all of them there, like the Casemiro factor. I mean, this is what you're dealing with right now. All of a sudden, Man United senior players have come to the fore, and this is why this discussion is actually going on. It's a great debate, to be honest, I've loved actually talking about this morning with Bruno, Maguire, Casemiro, all players that in the next few years probably won't be featuring at Manchester United, but at the moment and the present are the ones that are holding this team up. And it just goes to show a team of youngsters that have got all the potential that everybody's talking about right now are being held together by these senior players. You look at that. You look at Bruno in the 10, Casemiro in the 8, and Harry Maguire at centre-back. That there is your spine of experience. And they have all been performing absolutely superbly over these last couple of months in the midst of everything that has been so negative around Manchester United. Them three have been absolutely ridiculous for Manchester United. And no surprise, certain players around them, younger players like Garnacho is playing better. You've got Lenny Yoro playing better. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Kobbie Mainoo has come back into the fold as well recently with these players and their turn of form and actually starting to play better. All of this is what Manchester United need to think about replacing. And I just don't think they're going to be willy-nilly in letting big players like this go, especially not if they can afford to keep them. And this is a decision that we made in the summer, I think. Maguire needs to go. His stock is high. Stop being sentimental. He has only done what he has been paid for. At least now we will get some money. He's not being sold, Lee. We're talking about him getting an extension past next season, mate, to be honest. I don't think he's going anywhere. But you're right, he's done his job. And United have got the money out of him, I think, because he's seen his contract out. Talking about the other end of the spectrum as well, JJ Gabriel, again, making his second appearance for Manchester United under-18s. Yes, 14-year-old JJ Gabriel scored and was involved in another goal again yesterday. That's 3 goals in 2 substitute appearances at 14, playing at under-18 level. To break that into context, that's someone at high school who is still in, what's that? Is that year 10, I think? Is it year 9, year 10, something like that? I can't even remember now in the school part of things at what age it is from what year you are. But that's someone playing up against players who have had, 2 or 3 years in college. And he's still at year 10 high school level in age. And he's playing, scoring, and absolutely ripping it's early in it, but let's just say it, ripping the piss out of actual established under-18 players in the academy. Now, this is a kid that needs to be, I reckon, not somewhat, the wrong word is looked after, but I think needs the treatment, because everything that he is doing right now is just, it's embarrassing for everybody else. He could be on the, and this is a crazy statement, but you just don't know. You just don't know. And look at Lamine Yamal at Barcelona right now. 16, now 17, obviously established, the goals that he's getting. There is a real talent here at Manchester United. I do believe that he can be the next superstar. You only see players like this, like competing at under 18s levels, at under 14. There is another 2 or 3 different levels of academy before you get to the under 18s. From where JJ Gabriel is. And this is how good he is. It's year 9. Dear God. Thanks for that, Darren. Someone in year 9 high school playing at Manchester United established under 18 level. That's scary to think of the progression that you could make. Now, obviously, he needs looking after, nurturing, and the progression hopefully continues through. But when you've got talent like that is ready. And you watched the goal that he scored last night. Honestly, I think it was against Stoke in the under-18s. He just looks like he's got all the time and space in the world. And it's academy level, yes. And you can say that this is just under-18s, Adam. But this is an high school kid playing at under-18 level, beating players that are 20 times more mature than what he is. It's scary. It really is. Players like him, Amir Ibrahimov as well, who is 16, in Manchester United's under-18s. Wow. These are the players that I think Manchester United, if we play it right, are your next type of Yamals, Ronaldo, Messi type players. It's a big statement, I know, and he's not. He's nowhere near it because he's not done enough, obviously. But it's like Yamal. He was just talked about. And then all of a sudden, bang, he's on the scene. I think the real the reckoning was when Manchester United knocked Barcelona out of the Europa League, and then they dipped into their academy. And then we started to see some of the players that are now playing and progressing. It was like that was enough. Final nail in the coffin was Manchester United doing what we did to Barcelona. The end of Busquets, the end of players like this at Barcelona, and the new age of player has come through. And now I think we have got the perfect opportunity here at Manchester United to make sure we make the right signings in the transfer window, first and foremost. And then we need to obviously bring through the right players from the academy. There is an opportunity here right now for Manchester United to really secure our future. And JJ Gabriel, I think, is right up there with some of the best prospects that have ever been at Manchester United. Scoring the goals that he is at his normal level. And then he's not played, I don't think he's played 45 minutes of football for the under-18s yet. And he's already got an assist and 3 goals to his name. And you can talk about opposition all you want, but I'll just keep going back to it. He's 14. He's 14 and he's coming up against men. And that's the type of youngster and that's the type of academy player. I don't like to give anybody, and I'm not one for treating these players any differently, but you just have to make sure that this kid is looked after and get him signed up to a big contract or something already. He's already been signed up by Nike. They're already seeing what is happening with him. So we know what's coming here. We know someone's going to come knocking on our door or knocking on his door and taking him away from Manchester United. I think we've got a great opportunity here with someone who could be the new generational talent on the scene. We need to make sure that he is tied down and we look after these kids because I think we have got an absolute gem of a player there. And that, I think, is where Manchester United are at. Quickly, just on Antony as well, and Romano has come out in his YouTube channel talking about Antony. This is the last bit of news. I'll quickly get some comments in then as well. Antony, right now in the situation he is in, is happy at Real Betis. Really happy at Real Betis, says Romano. And Real Betis are doing everything in their power to try and keep him at the football club. And at the moment, as we know, there is only a loan offer available to Real Betis. And we've discussed this in detail before as well, in terms of what Manchester United can do with a loan and how we can structure it to benefit us. Any deal for Antony right now has to benefit Manchester United. He's playing well enough and is attracting enough attention for United to actually make this work for them. And that's the word from United as well. That's where we're at with it. Confident we can get the deal that we want to get out of it. So if anyone does want to loan Antony, there is going to be a hell of a loan fee at the start of it. All of his wages will be covered. And Manchester United would want enough to make sure that we can cover the majority of, if not all, of his instalment payment for that season. And it not cost us anything. And there be a full obligation at the end of that season that he is sold no matter what. That's the only loan deal that helps Manchester United or would work for Manchester United. Full wages covered, bonuses included if certain marks are hit. Wages, obviously, like I just said, sorry, wages covered, yes. Substantial loan fee, which covers the instalment package that United need to pay out that particular year for him, and an obligation to buy at the end of the season at the price Manchester United want for Antony. So that is where we're at. And I've said this before, Manchester United, I think Antony's goal involvement for Manchester United in his 2.5 years at the football club before the Betis loan, I think it was about, I think it's 17 or something like that. That was it. He's already on 10 for Real Betis in 4 months of football there. That's finding a player, the right football club right there. And that's proof of a loan absolutely working. Absolutely bang on the money. Like it was with Jadon Sancho last season. We made money off that Dortmund loan deal with Jadon Sancho. We're going to make money off this Antony one this season. We could actually profit again from another loan deal for Antony going into next season. But first and foremost, United want to sell him. And Betis may come up against stiff opposition. Atletico Madrid are rumoured to be very, very, very interested and could really scupper the deal. Because Romano has said that Atletico Madrid have got the money and can afford Antony's wages. So that is a good position for Manchester United to actually be involved in. Yes, good point there as well. Shea Lacey is back for Manchester United. Started that under-18s game last night as well. Another young academy player there coming through. Absolutely ravaged with injuries throughout his academy career, but he's back for Manchester United. Over 300 likes on the video. I've not even asked for any, I don't think, on this one. But if you do love the content, we have well over 1,500 in the room with us right now. Please pop a like on the video. Make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV as well, everybody. Comment coming in there. Super chat in from V33. V33, like it. V33.im. That's a weird one, but yeah. By Cherki, Cunha and Edison. Casemiro, bye-bye. Agati bench. Bruno and Edison behind Cherki and Cunha. Rotate with Xerxes and Menu. Sell Garnacho. That's his plan. He's got it all laid out. I like it when people come up with them comments. It's like just figuring it all out is great. And I think I was saying this the other day on a show. I was talking to Kaz. Can you imagine like Jason Wilcox like watching in on one of these shows? I know he doesn't, but just imagine they catch one of these shows and they hear us talking about, yeah, just do this, do that, sell him, move him there. He can be rotational squad player, whatever. And they're just watching it going, yeah, as if it was that easy. It'd be everyone would do this job, wouldn't they? But no. No, it is good playing FIFA sometimes as well. But I get what you're saying. Like, all of that there is doable. Thanks for the super chat. Maguire is now injury prone, but with a wage of 60k per week, he can be given a yearly contract like we did with Evans, says Gono. Yeah, I think that's the general consensus for most of the Man United fans. There's some that are saying, let's just get rid, gone, like move forward. And then there was some saying, like, if he's happy to take a massive pay cut, then there you go, Harry. Go for it. Knock yourself out. Cheap wages. I don't think he'll take a wage cut. That's the thing. That's just the player's mentality these days. It really is. To be honest, looking at it, I'd expect Maguire to want well over 100 grand a week wages, even on a new deal. I just know that that's how it's going to be. To round up everything, Cunha pretty much signed, sealed and delivered. Rudy Galletti coming out saying that a deal in principle is there. A 5-year contract taking Matheus Cunha up to 2030 is about to be signed by him. Tiny little minor details, but the personal terms have been agreed. And Manchester United then would move on to dealing with the structure with Wolves, which Romano and Antony have said is no problem at all. So the player contractual side of things is looking pretty much wrapped up. Harry Maguire wants a new contract at Manchester United. We've discussed it in depth. Please drop your comments in below on that as well when the video finishes. Should he get a new contract after next season? Because he's still got 1 year left to play next season. It's a player that has started only 17 games in the Premier League for Manchester United this season. Is that worth a new contract, even with all of the heroics of Harry over the last few months? That's what we're talking about right now. Have United got room for Ryan Cherki with Ahmad, Garnacho, Bruno, Xerxes, Mount, Cunha? Have we got enough for one more 10? United favourites for Ryan Cherki? Comment on that as well. And how far do we go to protect our assets in our academy like JJ Gabriel, 14 years old? 2 substitute appearances at under 18 level, scoring 3 goals and 1 assist already at age 14, year 9 at high school. How far do we go? in keeping our best young talent. Get all them comments in below, everybody. That is this morning's show wrapped up, extended Saturday morning show. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the football that is out there today. I will be back later on tonight, this evening, after all the football is done as well. I'll keep you posted on that and what time we are going. It's probably going to be the usual time between 6 and 30 anyway, because it's only Arsenal against Bournemouth playing tonight. We'll probably have an eye on it while we're doing the show even. But yes, have a great one, everyone. Enjoy your Saturday, enjoy your weekend. Pop a video on a like. Make sure that you have subscribed to Forever United TV. I'm Adam. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you all